Have you noticed how, lately, your peace seems to disappear faster than before? You wake up feeling relatively fine, but after certain conversations, certain messages, certain environments, you feel drained. Not angry, not sad, just off, as if something inside you was quietly pulled out of balance. Have you ever felt that after dealing with someone chaotic? Your own thoughts become confused, that your body feels heavy, your chest tight, and your mind keeps replaying things that shouldn't even matter? And you ask yourself, why does this affect me so much? Why can't I just stay calm like others seem to do? If this happens to you, listen carefully. This is not weakness, and it is not oversensitivity. It is a pattern. Chaos has a way of entering your field. When your heart is open, and your boundaries are emotional rather than rigid. And once chaos enters, it doesn't need to attack you. It only needs to disrupt your inner order. Because the moment your attention is pulled outward, your energy begins to leak. This is why your peace feels fragile sometimes. Not because it truly is, but because it is being disturbed. Only now we speak. We are the Pleiadians. We work within the emotional field of the heart, especially with those whose sensitivity was never meant to be shut down, only protected and stabilized. Our role is not to harden you. Our role is to help you recognize when chaos is no longer something around you, but something trying to move through you. Once you recognize this, you stop reacting, and the moment reaction stops, your energy begins to return. Stay with us, because understanding this mechanism is the first step toward protecting your peace without losing who you are. Have you ever noticed that chaos rarely comes as something dramatic? It usually arrives quietly, a sudden urgency, a conversation that feels emotionally confusing, someone else's instability entering your inner space. You may notice that after certain interactions, you start thinking faster, explaining yourself more, trying to restore balance, not inside you but outside. And that is the moment the drain begins. Because chaos does not take your energy by force. It invites you to leave your center. When you feel responsible for calming others, for fixing emotional tension, for carrying what is not yours, your heart shifts from presence to defense. And defense consumes energy. That is why you feel tired afterward. Not because the situation was big, but because it pulled you out of coherence. Now, this is important. Write the following sentence in the comments. I return to my center. Writing creates a conscious pause. It interrupts the automatic emotional loop. It brings the attention back into the body and signals choice instead of reaction. When you name what is happening, your nervous system stops guessing. Your heart stops reacting blindly. This simple act signals to your inner field that you are no longer available to be moved by external chaos. And when that signal is sent, energy begins to stabilize, because clarity always precedes protection. Have you ever wondered why certain people seem unaffected by chaos, while you feel it immediately in your body? Why noise, tension, or emotional instability doesn't just stay out there, but moves straight into your chest? This happens because your heart is open, and an open heart is not fragile. It is sensitive and coherent. A coherent heart regulates itself. It senses before it reacts. It feels truth before words. That is precisely why chaos targets it. Not to break it, but to interrupt its rhythm. When the heart is coherent, it creates order naturally. It does not need control. It does not need force. And order is threatening to chaos. This is why emotionally sensitive people are often the first to feel disturbed when the environment becomes unstable, not because they are weak, but because their system is finely tuned. Your sensitivity is not a flaw. It is a signal system, and like any sensitive instrument, it reacts immediately when the field around it becomes dissonant. Understanding this changes everything, because once you realize that chaos is responding to your coherence, you stop personalizing it. And when you stop personalizing it, your heart no longer collapses inward. It stays present, and presence is the state where peace remains intact. Have you ever noticed how your body reacts before your mind has time to form a thought? A slight contraction in the chest, a subtle holding of the breath, a quiet tension spreading through the shoulders. These reactions are not imagination. They are the nervous system responding to emotional intrusion. Long before words are exchanged, your body already knows when something foreign is entering your field. This is why protection must begin inside, not outside. Protection is not distancing yourself emotionally, and it is not becoming harder, colder, or less caring. True protection is discernment. It is the ability to sense what belongs to you and what never did. You are not here to absorb chaos. You are not meant to stabilize others at the cost of yourself. You are not required to hold emotional tension that was unconsciously passed to you. When you stop internalizing what is not yours, your system immediately begins to reorganize. Your breathing slows, your chest softens, your inner space widens. This is not withdrawal. This is coherence returning. And coherence is not passive. It is a stable state where the heart remains open without being invaded. From this state, you respond instead of react. You observe instead of absorb. And chaos, which relies on reaction, finds no entry point. Now make this shift conscious. Write the following sentence in the comments. I choose coherence over reaction. Writing solidifies intention. It transforms an internal knowing into an embodied choice. When coherence is chosen deliberately, your field stabilizes. And when the field is stable, protection becomes natural, not forced, not defensive, but quietly effective. Have you ever noticed that the moment you stop engaging with chaos, something inside you immediately begins to settle? This is not coincidence. Your energy does not leave you randomly. It follows your attention. Where your attention goes, your emotional energy follows. This is why chaos is so effective. It constantly pulls your attention outward, into conversations that never resolve, into emotional tensions that are not yours, into mental loops that replay long after the moment has passed. Each loop disconnects you slightly from your inner axis, and when that axis is lost, the body stays alert, the breath becomes shallow, and the heart remains in a subtle state of defense. This is why simple rest often fails. You may sleep, yet wake up feeling heavy, foggy, or emotionally unrest, because what needs restoration is not the body alone. It is the field of attention. Realignment begins the moment you consciously withdraw your attention from what is draining it, not by resisting, not by fighting, but by returning your awareness to the body, to the breath, to the space in the chest, where you still feel yourself. In that space, your nervous system receives a message. You are safe now. When that message is received, the body releases vigilance, the heart softens, the mind slows naturally. This is coherence reestablishing itself. Over time, this return becomes familiar. You recognize the early signs of misalignment, the mental speeding, the urge to explain, the impulse to fix, and instead of following them, You pause, you come back, and with each return, your inner axis strengthens. Eventually, chaos loses its influence, not because it disappeared, but because your system learned where to stay. And when the axis is restored, peace is no longer something you chase. It is something you inhabit. Have you noticed how different your inner world feels when you remain centered, even while chaos continues around you? Nothing external needs to change. People remain the same. Situations remain unresolved. Noise continues. Urgency continues. And yet you are no longer pulled. This is the state that changes everything. Most people believe peace depends on silence, on distance, on control. But peace does not come from removing chaos. It comes from not abandoning yourself. When chaos appears, you were never meant to fight disorder, and you were never meant to absorb emotional turbulence. Chaos feeds on reaction, on explanation, on emotional movement away from the heart. Each time you react, you step out of coherence. Each time you try to fix what is not yours, you create an opening. And through that opening, energy leaves quietly. But the moment you stay, the moment you remain present in your body, in your breath, in your chest, something fundamental shifts. Chaos no longer finds entry, not because you blocked it, but because there is nothing loose to attach to. This is the power of coherence. It does not push. It does not resist. It does not argue. It stabilizes. And stability is something chaos cannot move. Peace is not fragile. It only feels fragile when you leave your center to meet disorder. When you stay, peace reorganizes itself. It deepens. It becomes grounded. It becomes reliable. Over time, you begin to trust it. You trust that you do not need to respond immediately. You trust that you do not need to explain yourself. You trust that silence is sometimes the most coherent response. And with that trust, your energy stops leaking. Your system learns that it is safe to remain where it is. Now anchor the state consciously. Write the following sentence in the comments. My peace is protected. Writing this is not symbolic. It is somatic. It reinforces orientation. It reminds your nervous system where stability lives. Each time you name your state deliberately, you strengthen the inner pathway back to it. And with repetition, this pathway becomes familiar, then natural, then automatic. Eventually, you notice that chaos still appears, but it no longer defines your inner climate. You move through situations without carrying their weight inside you. You remain open without being invaded, sensitive without being drained. This is the balance you were always meant to embody. We remain with you in this remembrance, not as something outside of you, not as a voice you must follow, but as a resonance that activates each time your heart chooses to stay. Because when the heart remains centered, peace is no longer something you protect. It is something you live from, and what you live from cannot be disturbed.